everyone, welcome back to Eating with the Alexanders. I'm Kel.
I'm CJ.
And today we have Panda Express. So we have, what is this?
Black pepper Angus beef?
Yeah, black pepper Angus beef.
Yeah.
Honey walnut shrimp, spring rolls,
Beef and broccoli.
broccoli beef. That's it, huh?
Yeah, we just did white.
Yeah.
We did white rice instead of
White rice.
noodles or fried rice. We did that white rice.
Yeah, and I'm borderline hangry. So we've heated this food I don't know how many times. So we're gonna pray and get started.
Heavenly Father, we come to you and we pray. Thank you for today and thank you for this food. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen. All right. What are we gonna talk about today? I'm hungry, so I'm mad. Look.
No, David's full. David's full.
You can get another one if you want. I got him a baby for it.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? How y'all week going so far? Feels like a Monday for some reason.
It what?
It feels like a Monday.
He said it felt like a Monday.
No, it feels like a Monday to me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know why it feels like the top of the week? I don't know. It feels like a Monday morning. So yeah, y'all, how y'all been? I never had the black Angus stuff. I don't even know what's in it. It's mushroom?
You might not like the mushrooms. It's good though. Yeah. I'm quiet because I'm hungry. I didn't have breakfast. We're finally eating lunch and it's 2:05.
Yeah, she said she was borderline hangry.
I was hungry. TJ was playing around with the dang food. Had to heat it up. Almost had to heat it up a second time. Look. Oops. That's Brielle, y'all. She's playing.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to talk about?
No. No wrong. Spring roll hitting.
The spring rolls are always pretty good.
I say egg rolls we don't care for. You don't have the best egg rolls.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of their egg rolls. I like their spring rolls.
And they you like the crab ragoons, I think so.
They don't have crab.
With cheese?
Mm-hmm. I have to heat these up. I eat in the air fryer. So good.
Yeah, the air fryer is clutch.
What are you going to talk about? We were going to talk about entanglements. I've never had an entanglement. As far as I know.
Entanglement?
Definitely entanglement. I've never had an entanglement. As far as when I during our marriage. I don't think I've ever had an entanglement.
That's a crazy, but no, like, I mean, if you look, I'm talking about the definition, of course, in the terms of Jada did it. I mean, she tried to put it as, or like they wasn't together, but they wasn't divorced. They just wasn't, they were separated, and she got into entanglement. Nah, I never got into one. Married, not married, nothing like that. I guess, I mean, I saw a lot of people put like, you know, their own definition of like, whether you married or not, but if you cheating on somebody with somebody else, then that's an entanglement. So I guess not just in her sense, you know what I'm saying? So in your lifetime, any entanglements?
Let's look up the definition of entanglement. Where's your phone? Mine is filming.
But
We need to look at the definition to know for sure.
right.
Would you
But-
say that our situation before we started dating was an entanglement?
No.
You were my man, but you wasn't my man, but you was my man, but you wasn't my man.
If
We
that
were
was-
broken up. Like, we weren't in other relationships, though.
Right.
We didn't mess around
Well, I would say
with
no.
other people.
I would say no.
But you don't know the definition of entanglement. Pause. Look at your phone. Let's look up the definition of entanglement. Because I can't speak on something I don't know.
All right, y'all.
Definition of
So,
entanglement.
definition of entanglement is the action or fact of entangling or being entangled.
No.
A complicated or compromising relationship or situation. Complicated or compromising relationship or situation.
We had an entanglement.
Pause.
So, guys,
Okay.
we
so
had an entanglement. Because it says
a
a
compromise,
complicated situation.
complicated or compromising situation.
Ours wasn't compromising.
So you said it was
like,
complicated?
There was no type of other people involved. Well, there were people involved in our relationship. People who had no business being involved in our relationship. But it was like, for us, it wasn't, I was still in a relationship with somebody. He was still in a relationship with somebody. It wasn't like that at all. Like, my ex-boyfriend and I were broken up. His ex-girlfriend and him were broken up. Like, before we even got to that level. Because, as a matter of fact, when I met you, we talked about that in a previous video. When we met, you were going through it with your girlfriend because our mutual friend asked me to give him advice, and I was just like, I don't know this dude. But I gave him advice, and they were trying to work through it, but y'all just ended up not working out. And then my boyfriend and I at the time broke up because, dude, it was not a good. It was a friendship that turned into a relationship only because he really wanted it to be a relationship. I really liked the guy as a friend. And I just felt like if he's that good of a friend, maybe he'd be a good boyfriend too. Y'all. So what ended up happening was I was like done, but it was hard to break that relationship because I didn't want to lose my friend. But I did not. I'm not going to say hate. Hate is a strong word. I didn't hate him. I really didn't like him as a boyfriend. He was not a good boyfriend to me. But he was a good friend. So it's like sometimes you just don't cross those lines with certain people.
So you feel like never, or you feel like in certain, it just
In
depends.
certain situations, you don't cross those lines. Like, I saw red flags from the beginning. I knew from the beginning I don't want to date this person because, and I dated him anyway. Like, I literally skipped over this friend and dated somebody else. Me and that person had a whole relationship, broke up, and then that friend kept kind of expressing their interest, like, but not directly, but you know.
Yeah.
And then I ended up dating him, but I knew from the beginning that I didn't want to date him because there was something that he did that I wasn't comfortable with.
Can you
It
say,
was involving some illegal stuff.
can you say when, like, I guess in that situation, what made you be like, okay, let me give him a shot? Oh, it's because he just kept trying.
So our mutual friend,
Yeah.
the one who introduced me to you, he was like my best guy friend in high school, right?
Right.
And he and I fell off during the time that I was in a relationship with my ex-boyfriend before CJ. And he was the one who was like, man, you should give him a shot. We're going to call my ex, what's his name? Bobby. We're going to call him Bobby. So our mutual friend was like, man, you should give Bobby a shot. Bobby really likes you and this and this and this. And I was just like, I don't think I should cross those lines. And he was like, man, he's been there. You met him before you dated
X, Y, and Z.
the guy before.
Right.
And he was just like, man, he still like you and all that. But I was like, there's some things he do that I don't really like. Because that could have gotten me in trouble. That's all I'm going to say. Some of the stuff he messed with and did could have gotten me in trouble. Even though I didn't have anything to do with that at all. I shouldn't have dated him. I should not have dated him. And we had different...
I mean, I guess, like I said, y'all was good friends. Like,
yeah.
So, it's not like it was somebody who was like, I mean, even though you was like, just that, what you just said, but other than that, everything was A1, you know what I'm saying? It was all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all was cool, like, really cool. You said, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay, friendship wise would have been like we'd have
right. That's
remained
what I'm saying.
good friends.
Right.
And that's all it should have been. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
There were some things about the relationship. There were multiple things about the relationship that.
You know what I'm saying? Pre-relationship. I'm saying.
Pre-relationship, he'd have been the type of person I'd have been friends with, but I still wouldn't have hung out with because he did some stuff that I shouldn't have been around.
Yeah.
You know.
But so now that we look up the definition,
We were in an entanglement, you and I, because CJ was acting like my boyfriend, but didn't ask me to be his girlfriend until like we didn't make it official till months later. He almost ended up in the friend zone several times. And then there were too many people, relatives and friends, who were too much in the mix that made it very complicated, more complicated than it needed to be. And he didn't put his foot down. He didn't set boundaries. And that's like a major issue for me because I felt like you didn't protect me from certain things where you had control and you could have put your foot down. And technically, that was a red flag. That was a red flag. Like, I was kind of second guessing us getting together because of that. Which we've talked about. But, like, that's deep. This is deep. This is getting deep. Before we got married, we broke up. Why? Because there were boundaries that weren't set, and people were too involved in our relationship, and those boundaries weren't set. And y'all, like, if you don't set boundaries before you get serious, it'll cause nothing but drama. And don't let that happen. Don't let it not be controlled before you get married, because that problems that you have before don't go away. They're still there. And the thing about it is, you have to set certain boundaries in place to protect your situation, to protect your relationship. Yeah. So our relationship was only complicated because we allowed it to be complicated because other people were allowed in our business that should not have been, and boundaries weren't set. So I left. We broke up. And then CJ was like, it's never going to happen again. And he did, talk to people that were in our situation, friends and family and whatnot. I don't know why everybody was in our business like that. But he did talk. But people just became, how you can address the situation and people become less blatant about it? Like, they're not as, people will become more sneaky in the way they do things. So you can confront a friend for something that you didn't like, and either that friend can change that because they truly care, or they can just be more sneaky about it. Just like you can confront a partner for something you don't like in a relationship, and they can either change it, or they can just be more like, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it was for other people in our business. It was like he addressed it, and then it kind of like cooled down for a little bit, but then it was just some underhanded stuff still going on that made us like separate from like a lot of people. And y'all, we was in an entanglement. I don't know, not in the sense of like anybody cheating or messing with anybody else. We didn't do that. But y'all, it's complicated. It was complicated. Like, it did. Our love story was not something that I'd be proud to tell my daughter. This is how we met. Because if my daughter had to tell me the same story, I'd have been like, run.
Right.
What would you tell her?
Right. Well, yeah, you're right.
You would tell her run too?
Yep.
Oh, man. We ain't perfect. And people like look at us all the time. And they're like, y'all goals, y'all this, y'all that. Yo, we argue. We don't always like each other. We don't always get along. And our relationship did not start off super romantic because we allowed too many people to be involved. And because of that, it just got off to a really rocky start. So, I don't know. At what point do you feel like we started to put our foot down?
I'm trying to think exactly. Even though I did, like you said, it was still
Did like
some
what?
underhand stuff, like put my foot down or like talk. It still was like you said, some underhand. I mean, I guess some slick.
Be specific, but like you don't have to be more specific than you're comfortable with. But like, I feel like this is healing.
No, just doing,
Jada, I wasn't even trying to be funny.
just doing. People just doing stuff, if it's to cause confusion or a riff or any type of tension. It's something,
People did not want us to be together. And I never understood why. We didn't bother anybody.
I still don't. I'm very to myself type of person. I mean, everybody knows we cool. We do for whoever, but we stay ourselves.
Yeah. Honestly, I think, I don't know. You think it was a situation of people not being happy within themselves?
Definitely. I mean, I definitely could say that. I mean, being younger back then and then older now, learning life or just learning certain things that you realize that, like they said, I mean, who said that? It was a saying, but which is true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, if somebody not happy with themselves or their situation, people tend to just throw salt or they like misery love company.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the sayings, misery love company, hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
All those, that's 100% true. Like, you used to hear that in them terms, but like as you go through life and you experience things, you see how true that is and like how it's so relevant. Right there in your own family, your friend, in your own back door. So
Yeah, man.
it's like, I don't know, being older now and back then, looking back then, it's like, yeah, I could probably say like not being comfortable, not being satisfied with their own life or their situation or whether they got somebody or not or their finance, whatever it could be. Or even like I said, it might even be, if somebody's just not happy, they just don't want nobody around them happy. Like nobody close to them to be happy. Some people just lash out or be negative or look for things that's not even there. You know what I'm saying?
Hallelujah.
Like, so it's like, I guess just to make everybody else uncomfortable, everybody not talk, like misery love company. So it's like, I don't know. That's kind of like,
Stop. I quit.
that's just kind of like where it's at, and it's crazy and it's sad, especially when it's family. Like I said, I think I told you guys in another video. Both of my parents passed away. I grew up as a family kid. I can say a family man, so like get-togethers, big doing stuff as family. But as you got older, you start learning more things, and then my grandmother, which a lot of people know for some reason, when a grandmother died, is a close-knit family, and a grandmother, for some reason, I don't know. I'm not the only person that their grandmother died and they say their family just went down. But I don't know why. But I mean, like I said, I think from underlying issues that hadn't been resolved, or usually the grandmother is like the glue. Really, they really are the glue of the family. They collapse in a mess. They make people say what they gotta say, or they get old, whatever it is. A grandmother seems like they handle all that. So when they out the way, nobody take that role, and that's it. It's gone now. So it's like, I feel like, just not knowing about people not being happy in their own situation.
But it was also like our relationship at the beginning exposed a lot of stuff. Like even through friends, like it wasn't just man, I'm telling you, okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go to the person that introduced us. So the person who introduced us was like my best guy friend all through high school. So you introduce us, but then when we start getting close, this person tries to slow it down because, oh no, y'all getting close too fast. And then I felt like almost tried to like cause some confusion too, because this person was also like communicating with CJ's ex-girlfriend, saying, "Oh, I feel like CJ and I aren't as close anymore ever since him and Kel got together." But it's like the reason being is because we started to back up and keep to ourselves because we noticed that person didn't seem happy and that they were causing confusion. And there were a few situations that he lied to you about, and certain things that he kind of, I don't think he lied to me about anything that you said, but he kept certain things secret.
Well, I just didn't like, it's just, like I said, my ex-girlfriend, because that whole situation was crazy, and she was crazy, but she wanted to still keep tabs on me. What I was doing, my whereabouts, whatever. and she would try to contact a lot of people that she knew that was cool with me at the time. But nobody was giving information. But
people were giving information.
But then come to find out, people was giving information. That's how she was, because she would tell me something like, how?
That was the hurtful part.
It was, people still.
Y'all didn't like this girl because she treated him like crap. But he gets with somebody that's good, but he's too happy for everybody else. So then, let's give the toxic girlfriend information. Y'all didn't even want him with her. So why are y'all giving her information about our current relationship to start drama? And like the friend, this was my friend all through high school. This was the person who was like, oh, you should give, like, okay, the ex. That was the one who convinced me to give the ex a chance. Who was my friend, who I ended up dating, and that was just not a good situation. Well, it was my friend, who did we say his name was?
I don't know, said Bob.
No, Bobby was the ex. We called the ex Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
So CJ and I's mutual friend, we're gonna call that person George.
Mm-hmm.
George, our mutual friend. Our mutual friend George.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking a little tired. It was a late night with Brielle last night for us.
Yeah.
We are tired.
She's teething. That top tooth is coming out.
Ooh, we stayed up late. I know we was back and forth with her.
What's so funny is Zayden has a top tooth coming out because he lost both of his front teeth, and Brielle has a top tooth coming out. So it's like
they look alike. She got a snagger right here and one coming out. He got a snagger and one trying to. Yeah,
it's funny.
Just alike.
So 6 and almost 1 year. It's Brielle actually made 11 months today on the 14th. She'll be 1 next month. But back to what we were saying. What were we saying? It was hard because it's like this was who I thought was my best guy friend. So I just felt really he and I stopped speaking during the time that I was dating my ex-boyfriend because he said some real crazy stuff. So like how you introduce, like when I was dating my ex, who my friend George told me you should give Bobby a chance, but then George turns around and says some like reckless stuff that could have like interfered with me and Bobby's relationship. I'm not gonna really go into that, but like it was just like, it's like if I was CJ's friend and I hooked him up with a girl, but then turn around and tell CJ some stuff because I really don't know that I want him to be with a girl. CJ would be like, didn't you just convince me as my friend to give this person a chance and now you don't think we should? Like, right. It was just really weird. And that's all I can really say without giving too much away. Right. It was weird. And so he and I, like, I was just like, you got too much stuff with you. This wasn't the first time we had, like, kind of a falling out. And so this falling out with my best guy friend at the time lasted, like, a long time. Like a year or two. It was a year. Or maybe about a year and a half. And during that time, he met CJ. So when my best guy friend, George, and I started to be cool again, he was like, now, mind you, this was like, we were stupid. Like, it sounded like some teenage stuff. Like, we were, like, early 20s. Like, still childish. I'm not gonna lie. We were very childish. But, like, George was like, there's somebody I want you to meet. Like, he's real cool. He reminds me of you and da-da-da. And I'm like, I have a boyfriend. And George knew that I was still dating Bobby, who George is the one who convinced me, you know, whatever. And he was like, no, that's cool. He has a girlfriend. Like, it's nothing like that. I just think y'all remind me of each other, and I think y'all should meet. Introduces me to CJ. And during that time, like I said, George introduced me to CJ as, can you give my friend some advice? He's going through it with his girlfriend. And at the time, I was going through it with Bobby too. But, like, I'm not going to start a relationship with somebody until I'm done with somebody else. And same with CJ. So I gave him relationship advice. I continued my relationship. He ended up breaking up with his girlfriend. I ended up breaking up with my boyfriend. But because I walked into a room where there was some... It wasn't cheating, but I walked into a room where there was some drugs and money on the bed. I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Right. Uh-oh. See, I got up out of there, and the relationship was done. Because it was too much. I'm not going to jail for nobody. I'm not. I wasn't. No. So, anyway, it was too much. It was too much with that relationship. I was done. So, CJ and I kept hanging out. But, like, the closer CJ and I got, the more irritated George seemed to be. You introduced me to him. Like, y'all, it was dumb. Like, it was so dumb. So we had that going on, and then we had family drama going on, and then George not only was communicating, our mutual friend George was not only communicating with the ex-girlfriend being messy behind our back, but George was also communicating with like some of your cousins, and then like telling your mom and sister some stuff, and everybody looking at our relationship like, well, why are they getting too close that fast, and is it too much, or is it this, or is it too good to be true? Yo, too many people was in our business. Too many people, and we was too old to have let that many people be in our business. We were like 22, and that has impacted our relationship over the years too. And we actually went to counseling and talked about this and healed from a lot, but we are still in the process of setting boundaries because, man, the counselor was literally like, and it wasn't just from his side. It was some stuff on my side too. I'm gonna be honest. Our counselor was literally like, y'all are such a great couple, but the outside, y'all have to shut that out. Like, he's not saying don't be cool with anybody, don't have a relationship with anybody, but our counselor literally was like, y'all have to learn to set major boundaries. If not, people will drag you down with them. And that, like, yo, I could see how that could happen. So, yeah, I mean, before we started dating boyfriend and girlfriend, all that drama, that was probably an entanglement. I don't know what the hell that was. It wasn't no cheating type situation, no open relationship type of situation, but that was some dramatic entanglement type stuff. We just wanted to use that word.
Yeah.
Too many people in our business. Too many people.
Too many people entangled in the relationship.
So, now.
Not no Will and, like I said, not no Will and Jada. That's like some swingers type of situation. That's what I can say. That's kind of like two swings because, I mean, yeah, she said what she said, but like, I mean, if y'all kind of been following them or kind of know a little bit, you know, they never come out and say it, but they do kind of live a swingers lifestyle where, you know, she do her, and he do him. They stay married, they come back. We don't know that. We don't know that, but
that's rumors, but
there's a lot of rumors, and I mean, some of the, I mean, I don't know. Too many coincidences makes it true.
I just feel like I kind of feel bad for August in this situation, and everybody's like, "That's a grown man." I get it, but that man was abused. And like,
when I saw somebody post recently, guys, and I saw like they had the breakdown, and it was like pretty much like she said, they said the whole situation was messed up, like all the way around, of course, but it was like they felt bad for August because, of course, you know, saying how he was, you know, molested or whatever as a kid by someone. Yeah, he was molested when he was younger, and like you know, just how he went with his health and just a lot of things that went on with him. And it was like, well, he was Will and Jada's son friend, and that's how they met him. And he put it point blank. He was like, Jada, kind of like he felt like Jada preyed on this man, you know, because he was at his lowest, as she said in the thing. He needed so much, like he was almost destroyed, like, you know what I'm saying? He was going through so much. And how she said, you know, she nursed him back, you know, kind of was there, and she wanted like, and well, you know what? Okay, even if that's your somebody else said it was like, okay, if that's your son's, just say best friend, and you see all them troubles, and y'all got the resources, all the people you know, all connections to put him in counsel, you know, okay, I understand, that's great, you know what I'm saying, to help him out in that way. You really see that major, but then to turn into this full blown relationship where you're having relations with him and you're entangled with him, all this other stuff. That's what he said.
She knew better.
How the age difference, and they said he felt like Jada preyed on him, and like that man was vulnerable. Like that's why I didn't see the initial interview with August, and she saw it, and she was just. I just heard people put. I was just.
I watched the whole thing.
No, when you said, babe, like I'm not gonna lie, you like, babe, he She said, I believe August was. He said, I looked at this man. I like that man was really hurt. Something happened. She was like, if he's not just saying it for clout or he capping, you just like, nah, like.
Nah, I knew something happened because it wasn't just that. It was like pictures I'd seen in the past of those two. And that wasn't like, I'm not about to be married and have another man with his arms around my waist
and then
and
I didn't
like
even,
that.
and I didn't know that their son was the reason how they met him. And, like,
I didn't know that either. That's like if Brielle brought a friend home. Let's say CJ and I weren't together. And Brielle goes to his house, to her dad's house, and comes home with a 20-year-old friend, and you're like, I don't know, we're 34 now. You're 54.
Right.
And he starts supposedly helping the girl, and now like you dating this girl, and then you decide you want to be back with me, but you knew all along you were gonna try to get back with me.
Yeah,
That's trifling.
That's everybody. That's what the dude was saying. He said Jada's the biggest. He like she preyed on him. Like it's no.
I'm
way.
not just gonna fault her in this situation.
No. He's not. He was, but he was just like y'all. I guess because everybody was bashing August like home wreck. You know, that home wreck. Oh, you wild for that. You know they was all like they was coming at him. So Eric, when he put that out, kind of made some people in the comments be like, like nobody thought about it like that. You know what I'm saying? I think
he should have pursued a relationship with a married woman.
Right.
But then you got her husband making you think
it's good.
Y'all good.
Yeah, it could be
because Will is like, I didn't give or they're saying Will didn't give his blessing, but they could see how they would have, how August would have perceived it that way because they were so amicable. Stop it. Will was cool with that man, and Will probably made it seem like everything was good. Will called that man Og. What man you know? And he called August Og before Jada called him Og. If y'all go back and watch the interview, we'll talk about Og came into our family. Og.
Yeah, I ain't about to call no man that she messing with his nickname.
Like, what man you know gonna really feel some type of way about your affair but be calling your boo by his nickname?
Yeah.
Og. Like.
You know what I'm saying? They're like me. Somebody like me, I wouldn't even call it to be like him. You know what I'm saying? Dad. Something like that. Or dad. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even. Not no nickname.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, you guys are people who like, man, but Will was hurt. But Will a co-actor though.
I don't know if Will was hurt or if Will was more embarrassed that it came out.
Somebody said they think because it came out.
I believe he's doing his own thing too.
They said he think because it came out and he had to say something publicly because
he didn't want to have
like
to.
They say, like he remember how he was climbing Black Twitter, how he said nobody was letting this ride. They were like, y'all gotta say something.
Right.
So they had to. That's why when she put the tweet out, you know, that healing have to be done. It took her a week and a half. They had to come up.
It took a long time. I just feel like Jada seems like she gets some type of high off of helping people.
But she kind of said in the interview, kind of
like
that people,
she feels good
for some reason.
But how you helping him with your vagina? Like you could have helped him without doing all that.
I agree.
Like TJ, I can't understand, and I don't want to come across as judgmental, but personally, like I don't see how you and that man were on the same level. If you're healed and you're fine, and he's healing, and you're trying to help him heal, how y'all get?
Right? No, and like she tried to put it like she was hurt. And then Will back then was like, he was done with her. Like, we was done with. I just knew for sure we would never speak again. I'm surprised we speaking now. You know how he put it.
That was an act.
But I'm like, man, they really had to put their script together before they came out. And they laughed, made everybody feel good. Cause I understand, they do what they do.
Marriage for life.
Right.
Boy.
So they just kind of. But
I
do feel bad because August really thought, like I said, I really think August really. He want to be with Jada. Like, he really loves some Jada, bro. Like, that man really loves some Jada Pinkett, bro.
It's crazy because, like...
And she just like, okay, like she said, now she got her deep healing and her...
I bet you did.
And her fulfillment and her childish ways and emotions. She got everything situated what she wanted, I guess, from him. She drained him. Literally. And
what did he walk away with?
She want to combat that boy, Like,
what did August walk away with? Probably more deeply wounded than he already was.
Then she like, I hadn't talked to him a while. He broke all communication. Yeah, because when that man, he probably like, I'm going back to Will, going back to the Fresh Prince. That man was like, what?
He thought they really had something.
Exactly. Like, come on, that was.
I don't believe Will and Jada knew. I don't believe they thought that they were done. I think that they probably had an agreement. I don't know the facts, but I think they probably had an agreement. Whatever you do in your marriage is you. But I feel like don't try to normalize that BS. Don't try to make it seem like
that's just.
They said that's part of the ups and downs
of a marriage,
and you shouldn't have to fear losing your family because of a mistake. Y'all were having full-blown relationships inside your marriage with other people. That's not a mistake. That's intentional. Don't normalize that BS because there's too many people out there now feeling like. I'm not gonna say gullible, but there are too many people who believe that there are no more faithful marriages. I'm sorry. If it's not working, I'm leaving. I don't have time. I can't keep up with two. Like, I don't have time. I'm not playing this game. I'm not. If you don't want to be with the person, then go. Like, and like I said, I'm not here to judge, but dude, I grew up in a home where my parents, the divorce was very messy. And my dad stepped outside the home on more than one occasions, one resulting in him having another child. And there's only one that I know of outside of like my brother and I in our home. But like, I mean, not only did it affect us, but it affected my half brother. It affected how he grew up and how he was perceived and how, you know.
Mm.
So I come from that type of a background. And then I'm like, okay, I never saw myself getting married. I'm gonna be honest, never. And I thought that if I would, that it would be like closer to like the age I am now. And so meet him, and I asked God, okay, God, is this man for me? Because I didn't want to repeat those cycles. And I told God if I were ever going to get married, that I wanted to be the person that He sent me. So I had this dream, and I felt like it was God answering, you know, hey, yeah, this is gonna be your husband. So I was like, all right, cool. Y'all, but the stuff we went through with, like I said, drama from the outside, it's like that almost broke our relationship several times. And even into our marriage, it caused lots of confusion. And there are still things that we have to set boundaries on because, again, outside drama is like, y'all, it's crazy. So I feel like entanglement, yeah, funny little word, ha ha, he he. But when you really think about it, entanglements go deeper than just affairs and stuff like that. Do you have people entangled, enmeshed in your life that you need to cut ties with? Not necessarily, not when I say cut ties, I don't mean like not speak to people ever again. But if people literally have weaved themselves so much into your relationship to where it's causing problems, you better cut that damn string, because you gonna let your life fall apart, or you gonna, you know. And you can still have ties to people, but with boundaries. I've had to set some major boundaries on my end. So yeah, it got deeper than I wanted it to get. But we may not even post this video, honestly. I think we put our own spin on entanglement during this discussion, though. But can you see how I feel like I was preaching? Don't allow others to become entangled in your relationship.
Right. Facts.
Facts. Tell people mind their damn business, and y'all keep it moving. But yeah, y'all, I don't really know what else to talk about. I think we've touched on Lil and Jada, and we've touched on our relationship. And now, when I said entanglement, I'm talking about the time period before we started dating. Where he was like, "I'm your man," and I was like, "But you're not my man." He was like, "But I'm your man," and you take it. I was like, "Boy, bye." Like, if I'm not your girlfriend, he really thought he was that dude. Like, he really thought. I went on a whole date, like, bye, CJ. Like, you're not about to, y'all, young girls, if y'all watching, we don't have that many viewers. Don't let nobody come tell you they your man, but they never made that commitment to you. Now, granted, I don't think he was messing with anybody else. But if we weren't official, don't let somebody come tell you that you taken and y'all not official with no title. Like, who he thought he was? Boy. You really thought you was that dude. I was gonna let him feel like he was too. That's why I went on another date, and then he was just like, I didn't tell him nothing until I was like, yeah, I went to eat with. Oh, I hope he sound like a good dude. Yeah, sound like y'all gonna be happy together. I was like, what's wrong? Aren't we friends? Like, boy. Yeah, CJ thought he.
Oh man, that's funny, y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
You let our friend George put up kind of like hype you up a little bit. Cause like George, so like I said, George introduced us. George would see us getting like real close, and then he'd be like, "Hey, Mil, what you think about that girl over there?" Like, that's some hater type stuff. That's some hater type. And I'm just like, I'm sitting right. Now, we weren't dating, but like, if my mutual friend and our mutual friend, right? Like I said, this person was like my high school best guy friend. If you know I like somebody, while we all chilling, why you gonna ask him what he think about another girl? And he didn't really entertain it, but it was just kind of like, I don't know, man, that was some shady type stuff. It was shady. And when you really look at it, I wouldn't want my children to have no friends like that. That's why I said our relationship exposed a lot of underhanded stuff. I ain't lying. A lot of like shadiness and people we thought we were cool with that. Or like, not necessarily just people we were cool with, but like I said, it exposed a lot of people who weren't truly happy. So
Yeah, guys, it was good talking to y'all. Kind of wrong. Let us know what y'all think in the comments.
they're gonna be like, "What is wrong with these?" We real. I'm just not about to get on here and fake the funk. I'm not. It's what it is. I mean, we're not perfect. People always tell us your goals. We're us, and we go through ups, we go through downs.
Striving to be better every day. Still working through issues every day. Because like someone told me, it's kind of like, okay, somebody who have like addiction or just say from like alcohol, whatever. Even though you might not be drinking, but the fight is every day.
Right.
It could be 30 years from your last drink, but from that time, from your last drink to the 30 years, you fighting every day to still fight, to do better, because you have your ups and downs. And like, to me, marriage is the same. Marriage is the same. It is every day, every week. Like, is
some days are easier than others. Like
they are.
You're not fighting, but you strive every day
to do better,
and to be the best that you can be, and to make it work.
And also,
because you love that person, and for your kids, and for your family.
And I do know, like, I mean, I do see that, like people said, you know, depending on how long you've been together or whatever, you know, people do grow and change. Mm-hmm. You know, like from when we first met to now, we both grow and change. What we like, what we don't like, I mean, you do. And that's a big thing, you know, to continue to reconnect is, I guess, what I can say, like to learn each other. And
touch on what you said. You do grow. You do grow. The point, though, is to make sure you're growing together and not apart. So it's like if your partner, as your partner grows and changes, if your partner says, I don't like this or this bothers me, then you have to work together and compromise to see if you can like come to some type of like agreement. You want to fix that. You don't want to just keep, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to drift. You want to grow together. And that's why date nights are important. Alone time is important. Getting to know each other. Because like we said, you constantly change, you constantly grow. Just staying connected.
Yeah, sometimes life, really like I said, for me, I mean, I lost my dad, I was 9. Of course, we wasn't together. But, you know, my mom and just certain, you know, just life changes and that was, you know, traumatic events, you know, like what I was going to the counselor, like I really realized, like, how mental health is not just, you know, when you hit a turn back in the day, you never, at least for me, I never knew in detail what it embodies, but now it's like, it's a lot of factors. And when somebody say, man, somebody got mental health issues, I can say I do. You know, from a mom passing, traumatic things. Exactly. Everybody has some kind of trauma, or something that you haven't dealt with. Like for myself, you know, that it affects you, whether it's decision making, whether it's your confidence, whether it's a lot of different things. And when you really hear somebody else break it down and tell you, pretty much regurgitate that back to you, it's like, dang, like I never thought about it. But you know, at least for me as a man, we born and raised to put your feelings aside, go get it. I mean, and it's not I'm not gonna say it's the right way because them feelings still is in there. You see what I'm saying? And they might bubble out at the wrong time, or it's crazy. But it is good to definitely keep up with your mental health. And if you know you feeling sad or issues, you might be like, I'm just ain't gonna never talk about it. I just take it to my grave. That's not really good. You know what I'm saying? Like it can affect you in different ways that you don't even realize. And that's what I'm realizing. You know,
it used to be like that. Like you used to keep your feelings bottled up, and you would say nothing was wrong, but you used to be passive aggressive.
Right. No, I agree. Because like I said, you know, when I sit down, like not even my counselor, but just me thinking about life, and it's like, you know, losing my dad when I was 9. My mom, after he passed, she worked 3 jobs. So morning, night, weekend, my mom was always going either by my grandmother or by my cousin. My sister is older than me, so you know she was older, so she had her friends and doing her thing. I was the little young kid, just either home alone or by my grandmother or just whatever. So I didn't have nobody, to be honest. So being by myself, watching TV by myself, playing, doing all that, or even if I was feeling some type of way,
you just had to deal with
just me, like literally just me, like by myself. So growing, I mean,
that makes a lot of sense
from 9 to right now, I can't say raised like that. It's not like somebody raised me to be like that, but I grew up like that. I grew up just holding my feelings in, and I mean, it might have came out at the wrong time, explode. Somebody tell me something, I might flash out, but it's because so much built up, and it's like didn't know how to express it. One, you know, my dad was, even though I was young and he passed, I was like didn't understand that at the time really fully. But then as I got older, like and seeing, especially, seeing the trials and tribulations. My mom working so much, and bills and just all that, and she grieving from her husband dying at a young age. My dad was 36.
Was he really?
He was 35, 36. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, he died from a stroke. He had a stroke, but long story short, he had a stroke. But when they put a splint or whatever I think you call it in his thigh to stop blood clots or something, because he was supposed to come home to stop the blood clots that kept happening. One ended up slipping through the splint and went to his heart, so that's how he died or whatever. So him being young, and my mom taking the weight of the world on her shoulders. That's why I said, if y'all look at another video, she always provided. Like, to the day she passed, she was working 2 jobs. Like, it's crazy. Like, she was 67. Like, so it's crazy. Like, and when I sit down and think about a lot of that, it's like, it has, I don't know, just affected my decision making sometimes, whether it's confidence or even just certain things in my life. Or I'd be like, damn, why I did that? That's dumb. Or why I acted like that? Or why I took this out of kind. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't never make excuses for my stuff, but it's like, dang, like, it's crazy when you could piece together your life, and that's crazy. That's all I can say. It's just crazy. And I'm still learning every day about myself, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess old wounds that I had to heal that I never healed, just wounds that was just there. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still working on myself, guys. Look, it's all good. Like I said, a lot of this is healing, man. I mean, we climb about the red table talk, but healing from a lot of different situations. I'm not afraid to say it now, like, cause like I said, keeping it in, it just wasn't. I can tell it was a lot of decisions of just how it was. It's just holding a lot of stuff in that I never dealt with.
I didn't come from a family who was like, yeah, let's go to counseling. I came from a family that was like,
I don't know many families, yeah. Mm-hmm. Might be like, just pray, and we still do that.
Why you can't pray and go to counseling? Right. I mean, God puts people there to help you. I feel like you can do both. Right. But, I don't know, it's helped us. It's helped us see things and learn things about ourselves that we didn't necessarily know. And like I said, we didn't even go for our relationship. Initially, we went for, to help with grieving. And then we learned, like I said, things about us. I don't know. I don't know what goals. I think we're regular people. I don't believe in idolizing anybody's relationship, though. Like, yeah, we haven't had any infidelities. We haven't had any type of verbal abuse or physical abuse or anything like that. But just because we haven't had those things doesn't make us perfect. Mm-hmm. We're still learning. We're still growing. And I feel like, why idolize somebody else's relationship when you can grow yours and make it just as good or better? I mean, not that it's a competition, but I mean, people idolize Will and Jada, and
for real, yeah.
I need to make a shirt that says "child."
Yeah, that's our famous saying, "child." Yeah, if you ever heard me just say, because she says so much, "child." Got to put do some merch and put that on there, because you gotta sell that.
Ooh, I got 200 something subscribers. Maybe when we get.
I don't care. It's still gotta let it know that's a term that you do. Yeah.
All right, y'all.
But yeah, y'all.
We've been talking. We're about to take this conversation outside and have a private conversation, because this is a really good discussion, and we're rambling.
So yeah, guys.
I don't know how much of this y'all won't even watch, but we will continue talking, because this is very interesting, and I learned some things about him that I didn't necessarily know, and we've been together a total of a long time. Yeah. Been getting on my nerves for 13 years. Yeah. And you gonna say it. Anyway, I'm sure I get on his too.
Chat, guys.
All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it this far, man, y'all really rocking with us, huh?
Y'all the real MVPs. Y'all did. I know it's a long video.
It's a long video, and if I understand if you guys, if some people didn't, it's all good. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.